Okay, I'm trying to prepare to live stream on YouTube. It's gonna take a
All right.
little while. Puerto Rico.
Yes, you are.
Hectorito, how's your dog?
Well, he's good right now. He's sleeping. I was on appointment today, and everything is okay. We're going to fix with the surgery. Yes, you are. How's your dog?
Okay, so we're now live on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah.
Good. Hector was supposed to go to Miss Universe as well, but because of the dog incident, he couldn't come. It's unfortunate.
Hector, I wouldn't go either. So yeah, I wouldn't have gone either.
Well, of course. Like
yeah, but it's going to be we can watch the preliminary, the national costume on YouTube. Yes.
And you know what? We get front row seats as well if we watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, another thing. Did I tell you that I don't have to pay for the preliminary tickets, the national costume, as well as the finals, because I have been appointed as the unofficial national director of Cameroon, because Cameroon's national director, Denise Vanessa, could not make it. She told me, Rafa, I lost my passport. I cannot make it to Florida. So would you be kind enough to represent me? Girl, yes.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I've been like, Miss Cameroon has been texting me all day long. Rafa, how are you doing? You know, what do you think of this? I've been giving her advice. You know, I think you like, for example, I think you need to take more selfies with the other girls. And she tells me, I can't because we're supposed to be with our little group. I cannot like mingle with the other girls, with the other groups, unless they allow us to do, you know.
Right.
So, but she's drawing a lot of attention, I think.
She's gorgeous. She's beautiful.
She's quite a dish. She's quite dishy. All right, come on, people. Where's Vagisha? Maybe she forgot.
No.
I'm sure
I'm going to quickly run and grab a piece of paper or something because I have a feeling I'll be taking notes. Give me a second.
Yes, I have my book too.
All right, so we're waiting for people to we now have like 5 people watching, so that's good.
Hey guys, whoever is watching, thank you for being here.
Have you eaten your dinner yet, Antonio?
No, actually, I'm gonna make my dinner after this. I'm gonna make a tuna.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Vagisha. All right.
That's gonna be your mantra all night long.
Right? Well, I don't want to get it wrong.
Okay, so we're just waiting for Vagisha from India.
Vagisha.
Yeah.
Vagisha.
You know, we are live on YouTube, so whatever you guys are saying, it's being recorded on YouTube.
I'm only practicing Vagisha so I get your name right, you know, I want to be respectful.
Okay. Before we start, if Miss Universe is today, who is your winner?
Oh.
I start. I have my winner. It is today. Nepal.
Okay.
What?
Nepal.
I love Nepal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Peter.
All right. Look, I will stick with Nova. I'll stick with Canada.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
Rafa?
You know what? She wasn't on any of my original first and second list.
Australia. You're gonna say Australia, aren't you?
No.
Ah.
You know what? Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
She could take it all. She knows how to
She
play
could
the
actually,
game.
yeah.
Yeah, she knows how to play the game. So we'll see. We'll see.
What
Yeah,
about Hector?
There's a lot of strong delegates this year. So.
Hector, and you? What do you think?
Me?
What? You, Myanmar?
Of course, I love Puerto Rico. But my winner today is Australia.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah, but let's see.
I think Miss Australia is the one to beat for the Miss Congeniality Award.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No. We are not going to give her the Miss Congeniality Award. That's a nothing award.
No, maybe she may be the first Miss Universe with Miss Congeniality and Miss Universe. So.
Yeah.
Well,
Look, she
it happened
probably,
before.
yes. Okay, I'll take that.
Been before?
Yeah, but it happened before. Yeah, with was it a USA, Chelsea Smith? She was Miss Congeniality and she won Miss Universe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Chelsea.
I didn't know that.
All right. So good evening, good morning, good afternoon, world. Welcome to the Critical Beauty Salon group chat on racism and pageantry. So if you're with us tonight, hope you guys are doing well and that you're following Miss Universe. It's the most important pageant in the entire world, bar none. I don't care what people say. It is the most important, the most exciting, and the most awaited pageant in the entire world, in the universe rather.
Yes.
So we're just waiting for Vagisha Mishra from India to log on. But for the time being, if you would like to comment on the description box of the Critical Beauty Salon, Hector asked all of us, if Miss Universe were to be held today, who is your winner? Let us see your answers in the description box, please. So so I can't wait. I'm leaving on May 13th. I'm going to have an early flight from Providence to direct to Fort Lauderdale, and I'll be staying in one of these lovely hotels by the beach. I can't wait. Yeah.
Good.
I'm jealous.
We'll be there with you in spirit.
I actually want to meet that Thai woman in blue that I posted on my Instagram.
Yes.
Like, who is this mystery woman? Why is she like stalking all the girls in the hallways and everything? And she's wearing a sash, right?
Yeah.
It's funny. Okay, so while we're waiting for Vagisha,
Okay.
I sent you guys an agenda, I believe.
Yes.
You did.
And I hope that you guys have put have thought about these issues. Okay, so basically the reason why I wanted to discuss racism and pageantry is because, in the light of what happened with Miss Universe Canada, Nova Stevens. Okay, let's wait for, okay, she's coming in.
Yay. Hi.
Somebody's coming.
She's here. She's coming.
Vagisha. She's connecting to audio. Oh, Peter, your dog is so cute.
He won't leave me alone.
It looks like a stuffed animal.
So adorable.
Hi.
Yay.
Hi.
Hi.
Did you just wake up? I know it's like 6:30 there.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And I'm so excited to be doing this because this is an interesting topic, and I'm so sorry that I'm 5 minutes late, but I'm so happy to have a look at all of you. And I have been reading your views on social media and following your pictures, posts which you have been making on different platforms. And it's really very interesting to just realize that it is Miss Universe season.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just before you log in, I was telling the entire world that Miss Universe is the most awaited pageant in the entire universe. When you compare Miss Universe with Miss World, which in its own way, I guess, is significant and exciting for some people, but I just don't. I've been to Miss World back in London, 2011, and I just didn't feel the same excitement that I feel every time I go to Miss Universe. It was a long, dragging show, and I did not sense any type of competition, like none whatsoever, because everything was like unpredictable, unlike Miss Universe. At least you have an idea who's going to be there or who's not going to be there, etc. So, but anyway, thank God for coming, all four of you, and also we are now with the audience on our Critical Beauty Salon live on YouTube. So, somebody says Miss Bolivia is the front runner now for Miss Universe. Okay, Miss Bolivia, we all agree Miss Bolivia is a wonderful gal. She's very strong. She has a lot of strong personality, I think. She's very articulate and she's very, very sociable. It's like she flutters like a butterfly, you know? So there isn't a day that goes by where she doesn't post anything new on the social media. So that's good. She's very strong. Oh, and Miss Paraguay made it. I'm so happy for her.
Yes.
He made it.
Yeah, she made it. She recovered. So we're all complete. All 74 delegates now, which is great. And Myanmar, I was so happy for Myanmar. I'm so happy that the government allowed her to travel. And I hope she gets to come back. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not like Miss Grand Myanmar, you know?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of exciting stories and stuff and everything. And of course, today they started with the swimsuit photo shoot with Vagisha. So have you guys seen the swimsuit collection?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you like it, Hector? Do you like it, Hector?
I really love, because it's something out of the box, you know?
Yeah.
It's something really like you feel that you are in Miami, but I really love the design, the styles. I love everything.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's something different. It's something unique, you know? And I love the fact that they've invited Pitbull as the main performer. Finally. You know, an A-list performer, you know, not like some insignificant singer from 2 years ago. I can't even remember her name.
Oh,
but you know what? Just for old time's sake, I wish they had invited Gloria Estefan and the Miami Sound Machine.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like the olden days. Oh,
yes, for the opening. Yes.
Yeah, that would be so lovely, I think. So wonderful. Okay, let's start our discussion. Discussion is racism and pageantry. This discussion came about because of what happened with Miss Universe Canada, Nova Stevens, a few days ago, where she had posted on her Instagram account a meme of her beautiful black and white Photoshop headshot with texts in mostly Filipino pasted. It's like a collage of nasty messages in Filipino on the meme. So that generated a lot of bashing from the rabid Filipino fans, because they think that Nova was singling out a specific country or a specific nationality. Of course, you know, she said later on, listen, see, this is one thing that I hate about these toxic fans, is because they don't read everything. They just focus on one statement and they take everything out of context. So poor Miss Nova, she was attacked relentlessly by all these rabid, toxic Filipino fans, condemning her for singling them out, condemning her for being racist towards Filipinos, for inciting racism against Filipinos, so forth and so on. And then she released a second meme with this almost similar headshot, but with positive messages from positive Filipino fans. So I thought, you know, that's wonderful. And I did, when you see my background, I posted both, see? So yeah, so basically that's the reason why I wanted to, you know, bring up this topic, because racism, whether we like it or not, is rampant everywhere, especially in the pageant industry. And it's one of those topics that is not really talked about. I don't know why, maybe because there's stigma attached to it, maybe in some countries. And I really wanted to, to inquire why this topic is not discussed. I know in India, that's why I invited Vagisha, because I know that she has a lot to say about racism in Indian pageantry. Hector, of course, this racism in Puerto Rican pageantry.
Yes, we can see that.
Antonio, of course, this racism in Latin American pageantry, and of course, this racism in Australian pageantry, and of course, in Filipino pageantries as well. So yeah, so I think all five of us are representing the globe as far as discussing racism and the reasons why it exists, and the reasons and what can we do to diminish it. Notice I did not say to erase it, because it's never going to be erased. We can only diminish it. We can only decrease its presence, but it's always going to be there. Why? Because the human condition is evil. Okay, we're a piece of shit. So we like, you know, we say all these things, we do all the horrible things just to tick each other off. You know, I mean, that's part of the human nature. So rather than focusing on the bad side of our nature, why not we just focus on the good, civil, and courteous side of nature? So I wanted to ask each one of you, what do you think of Miss Universe Canada, Nova Stevens? Why did she post these memes on her Instagram account? And why do you think, what propelled her to post these memes? Who wants to go first? Raise your hand. Hector, I can see that excitement in your eye.
Okay, first of all, I really like Nova. She's a super girl for me. She's a super contestant, but we need to bring to the table this. When she was in Canada and she was on all this movement of the Black Lives Matter, she made this big meeting, you know, and it was a lot of people. From this moment, Nova realized and expressed to the world, you know, this is my power as a contestant, as a woman, as a Black woman. Also, I was impressed this week when I was entered to the Puerto Rican message boards and the Puerto Rican beauty pageant, Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, and I was impressed how racist are some Puerto Ricans when they're talking about Black people, you know? And this is bother to me because the Puerto Ricans are not white, you know? We are white, we're Black, we're brown, you know? I'm not white, I'm not brown, you know? And for me, this is something that I really make me sad because we can't hate people because they're Black or because we think that this is not the mold of the Miss Universe beauty pageant or blah, 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 you know? And this message from me personally to the Puerto Ricans, to the Filipinos, to everybody, think first when you're going to attack somebody. Think first when you're going to write something on the social media, because we are in modern pageantry. This is modern pageantry. And modern pageantry, Miss Universe, say to us, you know, they break the mold long time ago. And you see these good scenes from Miss Universe, and when you see these bad scenes from the fans, this kind of show and this kind of life need to be and need to do, because the people need to understand that this kind of comments and this kind of things are not available, are not right now. You know, you can say like something like this from a woman that is just make her job as a Miss Universe Canada or as a contestant, you know? And Nova, Nova, if you're watching this show, forget whatever they say to you. Enjoy the pageant, enjoy the moment, and be happy because you are already a Miss Universe. This is what I can say.
That's very good. Yeah, that's very good. Antonio, what do you think?
Well, you know, I have to say that it's a very sad situation. And, you know, like what happened with Nova shows how toxic the beauty pageants community sometimes can be. And as Hector says, what is the saddest part for me is like those hateful comments are coming from fans from races that right now also, you know, they face a lot of racism, like Asians, Latin Americans. Very sad for me because we, as Latinos, Asians, we all face this kind of discrimination. For Nova, as Hector says, you know, I think that she's doing an amazing job. Something that I don't know, guys, you know, but Nova lives only 90 kilometers from my city here in Canada. Well, so I would love to meet with Nova very soon. About races, to be in my opinion, I blame three things, okay? Number one, I think that I blame the TV. Why? I'm gonna explain you why. For like 100 years, the TV networks around the world always promote a specific kind of beauty, okay? Yep. Normally, those girls, you know, they are white, blonde, and if a girl like Nova, like, is not under that specific characteristics, the people don't consider her beautiful. You know, they consider her like maybe not beautiful. Even sometimes people can say like she's rude. She's like ugly. The second fact, in my opinion, is also like a lot of countries, especially in Latin America, Asia, you know, like we have, well, I'm not sure about Puerto Rico, Hector, but in Latin America, we lack of race diversity in all home countries. You know, like we born, you know, looking at people from the same color, for example, sometimes, or watching TV, you know, like the TV movies, and we only see. So for us, it's only people like Latinos or people from white people. Like that's it. And when we see a woman different, we don't see her like beautiful. I want to give you specific examples. Sorry if I'm a little bit longer, but I want to explain something that happens in Latin America. There's an Instagram channel that is very popular. They post all pictures of ex-beauty queens. I remember once they post a picture of Miss Universe 1958, Miss Japan. That for me, she's one of the most beautiful, you know, Miss Universe. And a lot of people, comments of Latinos, is like, oh my gosh, I'm sure that year, I can imagine how there was equality of the contestants if this girl won. Or another post of Miss World 1986 with their two runner-ups, and they were like, how is possible that she won? And look at those beautiful blonde girls. How is possible that this black girl won? I'm like, oh my gosh, people, come on. You know, like you have to open, you know, like it's not just about white people, you know, white women. You have to enjoy, you know, the beauty of every girl. So that's I have to say.
Okay. Well, yeah, I totally agree, because beauty is only skin deep. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, these days, I think virtually every pageant, you know, want to create a certain balance between internal beauty and external beauty. I mean, we as humans, we tend to judge people by appearance, and that's a fact. When you go for a job interview, you know, your potential employer scrutinizes you 100% the way you look from head to toe, you know, because appearance is all about everything. But of course, you know, if you're blind, you cannot see. Imagine if the entire world were blind, we wouldn't have to judge each other. But then again, there wouldn't be any beauty pageants, right? So, okay, Peter,
Hi.
my dear, what do you think of Miss Canada?
Look, I have been frantically scribbling down notes while we
bet
had.
you are.
Yeah, Hector and Tony, and you know, this has been an issue that's been very close to my heart. And just as a context, I've always believed, and I've always told people I have never experienced racism in my life. However, in saying that, looking back in my experiences and my history, especially of late, there's actually a lot of racism that I have encountered and that I have walked past, and I actually haven't acknowledged as a racist thing. And I'll expand on that a little bit later. But I wanted to go back to what you just said, Rafa, about racism in pageants and why we seem to have not discussed that as an occurrence before. I think part of it is because we believe that we are maybe above that. We probably think that our beauty queens and us as beauty queen connoisseurs are above racism, and that we aren't racist. But reality is, if we really look deep inside, maybe there are certain elements of it. Going back to Nova, look, I do believe that Nova is the complete package. She's always been one of the strongest contestants and contenders for myself. She's got it all. And if anything, we probably need a winner like Nova to perhaps educate the ignorant. You know, we probably need a person like Nova to be an example and say that there are, you know, we have a diverse range of what beautiful is. And, you know, we have been so conditioned to a whitewashed version of beauty for years that in many ways, you know, you kind of see these comments and there are the ones who are ignorant by choice. And I think it's not so much making a political statement, you know, and it's not about representation or tokenism. Like I said, Nova Stevens is the complete package. She can speak. She's got a great look. She's got a very commercial look, a very editorial look. There is absolutely no reason why she wouldn't be a contender. So maybe we do need her representation of beauty to, as Miss Universe, to educate the willfully ignorant. You know, there is a saying that has been going around in Australian shores, and it's been going around for a while, that the government has now adopted, and it's the standard that we walk past is the standard that we come to accept. And this is something that we, I think, as leaders in this industry, need to continue to educate our followers and our fans that, we don't need to subscribe to a whitewashed version of beauty. That there are lots of kinds of beauty in the world that we need to celebrate. And going back to the whole racism thing and the skin color, and I would be very interested to hear what Vagisha has to say about this too. Growing up, I was subjected to being the dark-skinned boy, and having to grow up in a culture where fair skin is beautiful. I used to be teased and say, you're the darkest one in the family. You're ugly because you're the dark child. And they don't mean anything by it. I don't think they were being racist. I think they were just being idiots and ignorant. But it is rampant in our culture that, if you have dark skin, you're not considered to be beautiful. It's probably slowly changing now. But I was speaking to another pageant fan in Australia. And, I think it's a cultural thing that's been perpetrated by the entertainment industry. And for them, they think it's funny, but it's actually quite racist. And this is something that we need to keep bringing up and really get angry about, because it's just not acceptable. So.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah, I mean, I remember, growing up as a little boy in the Philippines. I mean, I'm pretty much lighter compared to to the majority of my, fellow Filipino kids. I remember the light-skinned boys would make fun of the darker-skinned boys, and I agree with you. It wasn't racist. Nobody knew what racism was about to begin with, in the Philippines back then, especially when you're a kid. What do you know? So when you look different, then it's our human nature, it's our human condition to to make fun of anything that is different, that we don't know. And that's why I think a lot of all these rabid Filipino fans who are mocking and making fun of Nova's looks are the same people who probably have not met any dark-skinned person, especially from Sudan or from Africa. They haven't engaged in one-on-one conversation with this woman, and therefore they judge everything, ridiculously. And by the way, audience, if you're watching, we invited Teresa Ewell. She was a former Miss Grand Australia, originally from South Sudan. She represented Australia in Miss Grand International 2016. And I met her in person because I went there in Las Vegas. And we invited her to talk to our group tonight, but unfortunately because of time, she couldn't make it. But
let me just correct that one, Rafa.
Okay,
Teresa actually she represented Miss South Sudan in.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah, because she couldn't. Yeah, there's a story behind that, which I'm sure we'll go through later.
Yeah.
Danny Fitch actually represented Australia that year, and the two of them traveled together. So Teresa represented South Sudan, and Danny represented Australia.
That's right. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, but I met Teresa. She's one incredible, beautiful young woman. And, I follow her on Instagram, and I see all these amazing things she has done ever since, she was crowned Miss Grand South Sudan. And my problem with these rabid toxic fans is that why can't you people leave Nova Stevens alone? Why do you keep harassing her? I mean, what is your intention really? Why do you keep posting all these nasty messages anonymously, by the way? Yeah, I'm looking at you. I'm talking to you directly. Why? Stop it. Okay, just stop. Vagisha, I want your opinion, please.
I think every time we talk about beauty pageants, there is a notion of beauty which is attached to the whole idea of beauty pageants. So as Peter mentioned, that we have been brainwashed by the notion of beauty ever since we have grown up. And we think it's very normal to be racist and to believe that this is the kind of beauty which is actually under the category of being called beautiful, which is not the case. I'm very glad that it's evolving and changing in the present day. And we have had different variety of title holders. When we talk about Miss Universe, we have an Asian and European and also a Black African title holder in last few years. And this actually makes me feel that now we are actually walking towards a new kind of beauty, giving a new definition and dimension of beauty. Other than that, when I talk about Nova Stevens, the very first time when I saw her before Miss Universe competition actually began, last year when I wrote something about her or I made a video on her, then I saw a few of the comments which were quite racist in nature. Some of the people even commented that just because she can speak, it does not mean that she can become Miss Universe. She's not here to be an activist. So they are simply sidelining what aura she has and what kind of magnificence she brings into the picture just because she is a Black woman. Had she been representing a different country or being a white woman in terms of skin color, then the entire story might be very different. And
Right.
people would perceive her as somebody who's highly influential. And that really surprises me just because of the color of the skin. You simply change your perception completely and you try to question every move and action of her just because she's Black. And people, they claim and comment on her pictures that she's just being attention seeking.
Right.
She is addressing all of these facts and people question her that you are seeking attention. Why are you seeking attention?
Mhm.
That really surprises me.
It's interesting you pointed that out because I was wondering if she had represented South Sudan
Yes.
and if she hadn't been involved with the Black Lives Matter movement, people would be welcoming her 100% with open arms. Nobody would be judging her. Nobody would be scrutinizing every word she says, every little action she does. So it just so happens she's an immigrant like Antonio and I. We're both immigrants, and Peter, we're all immigrants. So she's an immigrant. So what makes her different from the rest of us? We just want our lives, better lives, so to speak. And I think she's representing Canada. She loves Canada. She's just a typical Canadian girl, okay, who happens to be Black. That's all, So
Absolutely.
that really triggers me when I see statements like that. What are you saying? You can't imagine like a tall Black woman from Africa can speak smart like that. I mean, come on, people. Anyway, but I also wanted to bring the issue of racism in other pageants besides Miss Universe. I know in Australia, we've had 2 women of Indian descent who have been crowned Miss Universe Australia. Last year it was Priya Sarao, and this year it's Maria Tatil. Now, Peter, as an Australian and pageant expert, what has some of the challenges that non-white, or rather women of color contestants have experienced down under?
Yeah, well, look, I'll go back to the whole term that I used earlier, which is the whitewashing of it all. I think other pageant systems in Australia have been better in representing diversity internationally. So, you have pageants like Miss World, Miss International, Miss Earth. Australia send Australian girls of color to international competitions. Miss Universe Australia was probably one of the last bastions of Caucasianism, and that has changed significantly since the new directors have taken over. You're right. We've had Priya. We now have Maria. Let's not forget Francesca as well, who was our first Eurasian Miss Universe Australia compete for Miss Universe, and she did very well. But unfortunately, as much as Australians like to celebrate the idea that we are a multicultural nation, we are guilty of sending a very limited look and representation to international pageants. One example is when I went to the Philippines with Renera Thompson, who represented Australia. Miss Earth was a very strange kettle of fish because we have been sending multicultural girls to the international competition since its inception, but multicultural in the sense that they were Eurasian. They were always half Filipino. Renera is probably the first non-white person that we had sent through that also wasn't of Filipino descent. And the strange thing that we both encountered while we were over there was they would look at her and think, you're from Australia, or, oh, are you half Filipino? And it was almost like if you were half Filipino, that it was acceptable to then represent, come in as a colored girl. And again, it's probably not their fault. It's probably because as an international community, you have all been conditioned to expect a white woman to represent Australia.
Right.
In an international competition. So I'm going to go back to what I was saying before about Teresa going to Vegas and representing South Sudan. When she and I first met, she competed for Miss World Australia. And one of the comments made is that the world was not ready to have someone who looks like Teresa represent a country like Australia. And it's really, really sad. In saying that, I did tell Teresa that she needed to be part of the competition. She needed to be part of this discussion because it may not be her time now, but it will be their time eventually. And unless we have a face like hers compete, then it will never change. I personally have also experienced this. As a person of color, it was difficult for me to get gigs or spots to comment on TV. I always missed that on someone who was younger and whiter than myself to do commentary on our local pageants and speaking about Australians competing overseas.
Peter, move to America.
Ah! Yeah. No, this is my space. I'm quite comfortable here. But it is a real thing. It's slowly changing, and that is something that I'm very, very proud of, especially here in Australia. We are getting a more diverse representation in media. So I'd like to think that we were part of paving that way for our colored kids in media these days. But it's happening. But I will not deny the fact that we have whitewashed the Australian image for many, many years, and it is something that we are slowly changing. We need to be faster about it.
I totally agree. Vagisha, what do you think?
Definitely, I think some of the comments which we see on social media, they are so disturbing and at the same time baseless. That really intrigues me because every time if you put a picture of, let's say, an Indian queen, there will be comments like onions, curry. I don't know what is the reason of that. And it really makes me laugh as well because there is no logic or there is no base to it. And forget about beauty queens, when I keep on posting anything. So 100 out of 90 comments will be positive, but 10 comments might just try to insult me by putting comments like onions. Also, you're from India, so it just looks like why your list is like this and so on. So it really, makes me laugh also that had there been a logical reason, a proper explanation why you are saying anything, then it's still acceptable. But if you are seeing beauty or anybody's perception only in one frame, that really puts a question mark on, are you really accepting the different diverse aspects of beauty, and what exactly is beauty? And it really is shallow because every time we keep on focusing on the inner beauty, on the inner strength, resilience, and how positive every beauty queen should be. But at the same time, when it comes to practice it in real for yourself and your personal life, people just completely forget about it. And that is really sad.
Actually, I was wondering, maybe you could answer my question, because I don't recall of any Indian beauty queen who's as dark as, let's say, Hector, who has represented India on the international stage. I mean, the majority of them are like light skinned, like Antonio.
Yes. Definitely. I think Noyonita Lod is one of the Miss Universe representatives from India who is a little bit dark skinned. But if we observe the different beauty queens from India, most of the beauty queens who have succeeded and performed well, they have been of fair skin. And I think this was questioned by one of our media outlets also during one of the Femina Miss India competition, that the contestants' group picture, when they were unveiled before the audience, they were photoshopped in such a way that every contestant looked very similar to each other in terms of the skin tone and color. Right. Which is not the case in reality, because now they have started the state pattern, and now Northeast India, which is very much unspoken part of India, they are also stepping forward. So if you're actually being so much inclusive about bringing different kind of contestants from different parts of India, because India is also a multicultural country. So it really doesn't make any sense that why do you need to make a Photoshop picture of all the contestants and advertise it on the billboards of the streets. So what is the need of that? Right. So that has been questioned. I think if you observe the cosmetic industry of India, most of the cosmetic products, they emphasize on being fair skin. And there is a very famous product called Fair and Lovely. Now people questioned about it, and after 60 or 70 years, they have changed its name to Glow and Lovely. And still that does not really make sense, because the concept which they are presenting on their advertisement, it is still the same.
Exactly. And yes, of course, the whole world knows that Asian countries like India, the Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, I mean, skin bleaching products are very, very popular in those countries. I mean, I remember when I returned to the Philippines like a few years ago, I was like stunned to see an array of skin whitening products, like shelf after shelf after shelf. Like, what is going on? Why do what does everybody want to be light skin or white?
Look, Rafa, I sorry to interrupt, but I actually think that the whole reason this is happening is because Nova is hot competition, and she is a threat to a lot of the other contestants.
Thank you.
If you think about it, a lot of European countries have been sending people of color for many, many years. You look at Norway, you look at Iceland, you look at Finland, and they don't even make a mention because they are not a perceived threat. If you look at someone where the Philippines had sent someone like Venus Raj, who is probably one of the darkest skinned girls that the Philippines have ever sent, she was one of the most loved and most supported. And she wasn't really attacked, not for her, because of her skin. It's because they love her. And yeah, I think the moment that a threat comes along, they will go at every angle to character assassinate them, even to go as low as assassinating them for the color of their skin. So yeah, I actually think it's a competition thing, and it's just fans playing dirty.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I totally agree. Now, Antonio, you mentioned earlier that Ecuador is not as racially diverse compared to, let's say, Venezuela or Brazil. Now, has there ever been a dark-skinned? I remember there was a dark-skinned girl who was a few times. I remember,
I think that if I'm not wrong, somebody correct me, that Ecuador was the first country without Brazil that sent a black delegate in 1995 in Las Vegas. That was the first Miss Ecuador. Second was 1998, and third one was in 2010, just in Las Vegas. But what happened in Ecuador is very it's amazing. You see, they started showing pictures of the contestants, and there's a black girl, and immediately, people start making fun of her, comparing with like maybe monkeys. That's so annoying. And maybe there's a picture of a white girl. Oh, gorgeous. Where's she? Oh my gosh, I would like her to be the Miss Ecuador. Something I would like to say that's very funny. I live in Canada. When Miss Canada Nova won the crown, she was in all the newspaper, and I didn't see any comments, of people against her because of the black color. the color of the skin. You know, Canada is a very diverse country. So here, something I love about this country is like, we don't care. We don't care, you know, what is, you know, how you look. We care about what you have to say. And it's funny also, like, you see the history, but I think Canada is the country, at least, you know, like white country, that have been sending delegates from different races since I remember. Like Miss World 2000, it was a girl from Korea. You know, we have delegates to Miss World from, you know, Chinese backgrounds, all over the place. So that's something that is funny for me, because Canadians, they complain about the Miss Canada, but people from all over the countries, for different countries, they do. So it's like, come on, people.
Right. Puerto Rico has not crowned a black woman. What is wrong? There's a lot of black people in Puerto Rico. What is wrong with Puerto Rico?
Never. This is a big shame for me, because Puerto Rico never have a black woman, you know, to win any pageant, you know, like Miss Universe or Miss World. We have Wilnelia. Wilnelia is like brown skin, but for Miss Universe, we never send a black woman. And this, I think, is time to Puerto Rico to think to send somebody that represent all the cultures and the colors of Puerto Rico, because we have Spanish blood, we have African blood, we have Latin American blood, you know. And the other way, Puerto Ricans contestants feel the discrimination when some fans start to comment like this: oh, she's from Puerto Rico, but Puerto Rico is not a country, because Puerto Rico is part of the United States. Oh, Miss Puerto Rico is Miss Puerto Rico USA. You know what? I know what is the reality of my country. We are a colony, but we are a nation. We are a country. No matter what, we're part of the United States. That this is a fact. This is a reality. But we are a country. That's why we compete in Miss Universe. That's why we compete in Miss World. That's why we compete in Miss International, you know? But I really, if you give me the time, I really want to read something that Miss Cheslie Kryst say about this. And she say, the pageant industry is stereotyped as a having picture perfect woman who preach only world peace and refuse to divulge their thoughts beyond can and on defense response. Miss Universe organization broke the mold again and again and encouraged me to be a voice for causes I believe in, refusing to shy away from polarizing or highly politicized topics. As Miss USA, I share my candid opinions on anti-abortion laws, immigration, marijuana, and my support for the Black Lives Matter movement, and my disgust for the police brutality. What I can say about that Miss Universe want a woman like Nova Stevens. Miss Universe organization are looking forward for somebody that have a voice, for somebody that don't have any problem to make an opinion about something that may be going to bother some people, you know? And this is what I need to say.
Do you think Puerto Rico?
You know, it's.
Do you think Puerto Rico will someday crown a black girl?
Yeah, and look, Rafa, I think there's a lot of people out there who are saying, you know what, pageants and politics, they don't mix. And my answer to that is, why not? You know, a lot of these people vote for their women to get up and get the Miss Universe crown, to get them a platform to deliver a message. And if anything, Miss Universe actually encourages that. It's about having a platform and about having a cause. You know, why can't we use pageants as a platform to educate the masses? I mean, that's essentially what it is. If it wasn't for Miss Universe, we probably wouldn't even know about these other countries that exist. I know I was introduced to the world and to multiculturalism thanks to pageants. So I absolutely have no problem if a beauty queen decides to use her platform as a way to practice her activism. You know, if you don't like it, you can always switch off. I mean, that's the beauty of freedom, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I totally agree. Let me just read some of the comments on the channel, my YouTube channel. Okay, there's one interesting comment from Alexa Villano, I think she's credited here, right? Alexa says, in the Philippines, we were told that having light skin is always pretty. Only a few then were proud of the morena, which is like dark, kayumangi, which is like brown color. But now more Filipinas are embracing their morena color, their dark skin color. Yeah. I mean, yeah, this is a positive change in the Philippines. And I think, again, Philippine pageantry is evolving. The Filipino concept of beauty is evolving, thank God. Like in this, in the current Miss Universe, no, not Miss Universe Philippines. Well, actually, Miss Universe Philippines, they had 2 or 3 half Black, half Filipino contestants, and they did very well. They all made the top 20, I believe. Yeah, so that's quite an improvement. But going back into history, at least on the American side, I remember they did not, like the Miss America pageant did not crown its first Black winner until 1984 with Vanessa Wiliams. I'm sorry, 1983 with Vanessa Wiliams. But then again, when you look at Vanessa Wiliams, she doesn't really look Black. I mean, that was my first impression, because her eyes are blue. Her skin is very, very light. Her hair is like blondish. So when the first time I saw her, okay, she doesn't strike me as a Black woman. She's more like very white to me.
But
so,
Suzette anyway, Charles, who took over.
Her first runner-up is also looks like her too. You know. So what does that what does that say? But anyway, yeah. So for a long time, Miss America did not crown a Black woman, and that explained why a separate pageant called Miss Black America was established specifically for Black women.
You know, I was speaking to Teresa the other day, and you know, we're speaking about the whole racism in pageants thing, and unfortunately, and I'm sure it's probably rampant in other pageants outside of Australia, not so much racism, but I guess colorism. You know, even amongst us who are people of color, actually have or discriminate against others because their shade is different from our own.
Right.
And so I think we need to go beyond just the whole racism thing, because there was a comment I read somewhere that there's no such thing as racism outside of white countries. Well, there is, but it's probably called something else. And I would say it's probably called colorism. And it is rampant everywhere. It's probably bigger than what we would perceive as racism anyway.
Hector.
I just want to say something that I never say before. When I was in Miss Universe 2011 and the winner was Miss Angola, Leila Lopez.
Yeah.
I remember I was in the press salon. We watched the pageant, with all the journalists. And I have this good relationship in this moment with this employee of Miss Universe organization. I'm not going to say which department because everybody's going to know her name. But I remember
it's a woman.
Yes, it's a woman. But I remember when they put the crown on Miss Angola, I remember that she saw me and she said to me, "Really? She's the winner?" I was like, "What?" And I was to try to be nice with her. And I said, "Yes, she's the winner. She's from Angola." "Oh, but she have this kind of name like a porn star." And I was like, "What? She's working for Miss Universe and she's told me that." And let me tell you something. This is the first time I say that. And this was the first time I see how some people, not the Miss Universe organization, some people can be as a dumb as a racist. You know why? Because she have a powerful position in Miss Universe. Why she need to tell that to somebody like me or somebody, to somebody else? But it was one of the things that I just only saw this time in Miss Universe. I had the opportunity with Rafa to go to a lot of Miss Universe, and I never see something like this from the Miss Universe organization or the chaperones or the production team or the security team, you know, but this kind of thing, this kind of situation in 2011, it was so disgusting. It was so bad because, you know, she was the winner. No matter what, if she was black or white, she was the winner. She was Angola. She was the first Miss Universe from Angola. And this girl, after the press conference, she was like this, you know, she was like, but what happened? She needs to work with her 1 year, you know? That's it.
Well, maybe it wasn't really racist though. Maybe she wasn't happy that her favorite, either Miss Ukraine or Miss Brazil, did not win. I mean, how do we know that it was racist on our part?
Well, because she was like, really? And then she told me like, oh my God, her name is something like similar to a porn star. Come on, you can, you know, maybe it was not her favorite, but when you work for an organization like Miss Universe, you need to have discretion. You need to be like, close your mouth and do your work.
Right. Okay.
Okay, I'm going now. I'm coming back. Okay. I'm coming back because my food is just arrived from the vegan Puerto Rican restaurant. Okay, I'm coming back in 5 minutes.
Okay. Now, Vagisha, I want to ask you something. You know, I mean, India is racially, culturally, ethnically diverse. I've never been to India. I've always wanted to visit India. One of my good friends, I think she's also your friend of mine, Marina Hayden.
Yes, I think I spoke to her
she's
a
British.
few years back.
Yeah, she's British Indian. Yeah, she and I communicate once in a while, and then she has told me all the things I've learned about India. I've learned from her. And now looking at the history of Miss India pageants, I know like in the northeast part of India, you know, which is close to Myanmar or to China, you see a lot of Asian faces.
Yeah.
Like in the provinces of Nagaland, maybe, or Assam. Now, I know they have their own state pageants, but I would love to see one of the Indian women from that part of India win a major Miss India crown. You know, is that a possibility one day?
I think if we talk about the Northeastern beauties, I had been dying. And this year we had a very beautiful contestant from Nagaland, and her name was Zozibi Tunzi. And she was so beautiful, and she had a very melodious voice. And I was really hoping for her to win Miss World India and represent India at Miss World. Although we have had different winners from Northeast India at different international pageants, representatives, like Payden Ogmu, she represented India at Miss Supranational, I don't remember which year, but she was from Northeast India. And apart from her, Revati Chetri, who was a representative to Miss International formerly. So she was also from Northeast India. But the question here lies, we never get to see the majority of Northeast Indian women at major pageants like Miss Universe or Miss World. And if we talk about that part of country, I think we as an Indian, you know, we have so much things to offer at international pageant, and Northeast India has never really got a platform to show and display what magnificence they have, because they're culturally very rich and they have many different kind of folk dances, different traditional dresses, wardrobe, and they are very talented in terms of, you know, they are well versed in singing, dancing, and they have a very different kind of perspective of how India is. And that part of India has never been to an international platform. And forget about international platform, you know, even at Indian platform, we don't get to see much from them because majorly their language is different and people don't accept them as Indian as well. Like there have been many incidents in India where people call them either Chinese or Japanese, and they don't include them as part of India, which is really unfortunate because they are Indian as much as we are Indians. So again, as Peter mentioned, you know, that we have uh, we have a very defined and predefined notion of beauty in our head, and we don't want to step outside it. And that makes us repulsive towards a different kind of beauty. Whenever we see a very different kind of beauty, people are not ready to accept it. Right. And that needs to change. And I really want to see a Northeast lady to represent India internationally. Although Priyadarshini Chatterjee, who was from Assam, she represented India at Miss World pageant. But again, she has a very Indian kind of, facial features. Right. But when we talk about Northeast Indian representative, the representative which I want to see at a different international pageant, who has different facial features in terms of eyes and how she talks, because even their language and their accent is quite different. So they need to get a platform through which they can not only address their unexplored part of India, what is their side of story, but also go on and tell their story in a way that every kind of beauty is acceptable, provided we have the eyes for it.
Right. I would love to see a blonde, blue-eyed woman representing India someday.
Yes.
Just to break the barrier, so to speak. You know what I mean? I mean, when I think, look at South Africa. I mean, South Africa is majority Black. Okay.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if you younger people remember back in the day, but Miss World, 1970. But I think Miss World from 1970 to 1976, they allowed 2 representatives in South Africa, 1 white and 1 Black. Yes. You can't be any more racist than that. Right. I mean, a Black woman and a white woman, both from South Africa, competing against each other in Miss World. I mean, to me, that further encouraged apartheid. Really, seriously. But thank God, that was scrapped. And now they only elect a Miss South Africa, regardless of her skin tone or skin color. So that's good. Now, when I was doing my research about this topic, I stumbled upon racism in Indonesia, because Indonesia being the world's largest Muslim country, like over 250 million people. Okay, just like India, Indonesia is ethnically, racially, linguistically diverse. Now, I learned that the Papuans, from Papua, there's a region of Indonesia. They're Melanesians. They're not Polynesians, but they're Melanesians, which means their skin are much darker and their hair are curly.
Kinky. Yep.
They're kinky, meaning, in other words, but the majority of Indonesians do not accept them as real Indonesians. Yep. And this makes them targets of colorism, like Peter, suggested earlier, and also much worse. So to change that perspective, a bunch of Papuan models and makeup artists, they use social media platforms to share beauty tips and campaign for acceptance using the hashtag Papuan Lives Matter, which I thought was cool. Yeah.
Okay.
But I was like, surprised. I didn't realize that. But I've always known that they're the Papuans, living in Indonesia because it's part of Indonesia. But that sort of situation that they experienced to me, and of course we all know that Japan, mostly homogeneous country, elected its first half mixed race Miss Universe Japan a few years back, 2015, Ariana Miyamoto. Yep. And poor girl, poor woman. She suffered so much hatred and so much racism from the pure Japanese, so to speak. She said at one point that she was called the N-word, and she actually had trash, garbage thrown at her. Yeah, she couldn't even leave the house without someone yelling slurs, racial slurs at her.
God.
I mean, she faced so much hostility for not being a pure Japanese, And of course, this year's Miss Universe Japan is another half Black, half Asian girl. But I think the Japanese has received her more warmly. Differently. Yeah, than that they have received Ariana Miyamoto from 6 years ago. And of course, Miss America in 2014 crowned a woman of Indian descent. Her name is Nina Davuluri. And she received a lot of racist remarks on her Twitter feed, okay? At one point, she was referred as the Arab.
Oh my God.
Yeah, people mistook her as an Arab. And other comments like, this is America. This is not India. Okay, go back to India. Or somebody called her Miss 7-Eleven in reference to a chain of 7-Eleven stores.
Disgusting.
Because most 7-Eleven stores are run by Indian immigrants in America. So what did she do? She rose above that. She brushed all of these horrible comments aside, and she said, I have to rise above that. I always viewed myself as first and foremost an American. Bravo.
Yep.
And of course, Miss Grand Thailand 2020, Patcharaporn Chantarapadit.
Grand Thailand!
I just love pronouncing her name. Patcharaporn Chantarapadit, Miss Grand Thailand.
Yes.
She was called the word Negro and black hole for, get this, supporting a huge anti-government rally in Bangkok last September. Just because she protested for democracy, she was called these horrible names. Go figure. Okay. So yeah. Antonio, what do you think?
There's a lot of racism, in the war. I mean, it's scary. It's very scary. But I'm really glad too that like the international beauty pageants, like they are changing that, and I think that they are teaching, the fans to be more acceptable, and that's something that one of the reasons I love beauty pageants. Yeah, they are like they're teaching people, hey guys, you have to be more acceptable. There's not only one specific type of beauty. Like this is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, which brings us the question: how do you deal with toxicity, with toxic and racist fans? How do you deal with them? I mean, just to block them, it's just so easy. But sometimes it's not easy to do. Peter, what do you think?
I was walking my dogs on the beach this morning, as I always do on a weekend. And
all your dogs are white, by the way. Racist.
Oh, look, but they don't know that. They don't know that. They treat everybody the same.
Yeah, sure.
So I was speaking to a woman on the beach this morning, and I was telling her about this discussion that we were going to have. And her comment was, look, these women who compete in beauty pageants, surely they would have a thick skin, having to go on stage and be openly judged for your appearance anyway. Surely they'd be able to deal with it. And, it kind of made me think that, yes, of course, any of us would have a thick skin to be in this kind of industry. But in saying that, there's only so much that you can take when you have the little things kind of chipping at you constantly, every day, every hour. And I can only imagine what contestants like Nova must have gone through. And I remember when Danny Fitch and when Teresa competed for Miss Grand, and the comments that they were both getting online, they could easily brush it off, the early days. But after a while, after a few days, it really does get to you. So how do we deal with something like this now? Rafa, you mentioned blocking them is the easy way. Absolutely, it is the easy way, but is it going to fix anything? No, not really. Is responding to them going to fix things? No, not really. At the end of the day, people choose to be ignorant. This person that I speak of, the Australian pageant fan, it might have been Mpule Kwelagobe, who we were talking about one time, and he made a comment saying that she looked like an ape or a gorilla. And I came out, I was like, that's a racist thing to say. And he refused to acknowledge that he was racist and say that that he was racist. He said, no, it's not a racist thing. And it is a freaking racist thing to call a Black person a gorilla or a monkey, okay? I'm not going to say who you are, but you know I'm talking about you. But, you know, people choose to be ignorant. We can't do anything about that. I think what Nova is doing by calling it out is very important, because the people who will choose to listen will listen. The people who choose to stay ignorant will stay ignorant. But I think to keep ignoring it the way that the pageant industry as a general have, the last few years, is wrong. We need to call it out. And we need to have people of influence like ourselves, people who are winners, actually openly call it out. If it's unacceptable, we have to say so.
Right. I totally agree. Totally agree. Yeah. Antonio, if you were Nova Stevens and you were being criticized and attacked relentlessly, how would you handle the problem?
Well, the first thing that came to my mind was, I usually ignore them, but at the same time, I can imagine Nova receiving like that kind of message, like every day, every minute. So in that case, yeah, I'm glad what she did, to post it there, like, hey, this is happening to me, because that get on the news. I can tell you, Canada, there's not a beauty pageant country. They got in the news, that, hey, Miss Canada is getting attacked for racism. And as Peter said, maybe it will not educate everybody, but maybe change, like the idea of some people. Even for me, if you change, if you realize only two people realize that, what they're doing is very wrong, that's something great. That's something good, because we change the mind of somebody.
Good point. Yeah. Yes. Vagisha, how would you handle it?
I think, as Peter said, that at many occasions we try to become ignorant because we don't want to get affected by the negativity which is around us. But there comes a standpoint where we cannot ignore it because it needs to be called out, needs to get attention. Right. Because if we actually normalize all of these things, that the toxic things being said to us, if we take it in a very normal way, it is ultimately going to encourage the abusers even more, that they can go on insulting anybody without realizing that it's wrong. So it definitely needs to get addressed. But at the same time, we as person, if we are getting racist comments, at that time we just have to be that strong that we don't let it inside us very deeply. Because I personally feel that if somebody is calling out of my weakness, pointing out certain things which I can do better, then definitely that's a good thing. But if somebody is mocking me just because I am an Indian woman, I'm a brown skinned woman, then I think I don't need to change anything. It's the person who needs to change his perception to visualize different things. So definitely that needs to be addressed, but at the same time, we cannot let these kind of things affect us drastically, because ultimately our goal is much higher than the color of our skin or what kind of dresses we are wearing.
Agreed, 100%, yeah. Hector, how was your chicken dinner?
Well, I'm going to be very, no. I'm going to be very honest. I'm going to be very honest, and you know that, Rafa. I battled with depression all my life. And I remember when I started in this industry, a lot of Puerto Ricans say, oh, he's not good enough. He's not a pageant expert. He's so ugly. He's so that, And for me, in the early years in pageantry, for me, it was a big battle, because I want, my history, I just want to enjoy the pageant. I'm very passionate about pageants. But at the time I was read all the comments in the message board, in the social media, I get depressed. I get like, what the fuck is that? Why these people is so bad to me, And I can imagine in the see Nova's issue and Nova's situation, imagine these girls, or imagine if Nova is having a depression or something like that. It's so bad to deal with this kind of stupid comments and people that really don't understand your job or your mission in life. What I choose to be happy. I choose to ignore. I choose to go out more. I choose to have a dog, and I choose to have a life in a good way, respect everybody. But let me tell you something. The first years when I was in pageantry, for me, it was like the hell, you know, because my face, it was like happy. I was traveling. I was covered the pageant for the newspaper, for Critical Beauty, for my blog, for everybody. But when I closed the door, I was crying like a child. I was like, why this is happening to me? Why these people, they're talking like this to me, you know? And I addressed the issue. I addressed the problem to me because I don't want to live in a depression all my life, you know? And that's why I seeking for help. But I can't imagine how bad feel Nova right now, or maybe 1 week ago, because you know, this is a situation that we don't want to see in pageantry. I was amazed because I have the computer in my front, and I was seeking all the news about Nova, and it's very, very attention to me that all the press in the Philippines, you know, very important press, address the issue in their newspaper or in the social media.
That. Yeah, I saw
yeah.
that.
Yeah. And for everybody, choose to be happy, choose to bring love, because at the end of the day, it's not a cliche, it's not a stupid thing. All we need is love. All we need is live the life in a good way, because it's a lot of things happens right now, you know, and we need peace and we need love. And this is the only thing we can do in a good way.
Right. I just wanted to read a couple of comments on my YouTube channel. Alexa, again, she says, educating people is a huge step, but as Peter and everyone in the panel shared, if people choose to be ignorant, we can only do so much. I will not deny that I said hurtful words as well, but you learn. And another one, Stephen Anderson, says, that's why Black people like myself celebrate when a Black woman wins an international pageant, because of the obstacles they go through the entire lives. Totally agree. Totally agree.
I want to say something. When Zozibi won 2 years ago, and everybody knows that Miss Puerto Rico, Madison Anderson, she was the first runner-up, you know, tall, white, blonde, like a Barbie doll, living in the life. But it was so hard when this girl won Miss South Africa. Not all the Puerto Rican fans, but most of the Puerto Rican fans, they maybe don't say something bad about Zozibi, but they're asking a question like, oh my God, she was the winner? Oh my God, she won over Madison? How this is happening? You know, at the end, it's not about if you're Black or you're blonde or you're Indian or you're Australian. It's about that you are a human being.
Right.
And no matter what your color, your sex, whatever you believe, if you want to believe in Disney, believe in Disney. If you want to believe in Pluton, believe in Pluton, but be happy and let the others be happy and spread love, because this is the only thing we need. That's it.
As Nova says, is it really that difficult to spread love instead of hate? You know, I mean, why do people prefer to hate instead of love? I mean, there's so much hatred going on anyway. You know, why life is too short. Would you rather spend 95% of your time hating people anonymously behind the keyboard, or just live your life and be as active and happy and productive as possible? You know, I mean, it's interesting because, you know, when I coach, you know, I've been a pageant coach for almost 15 years, and I've coached young women of different races, different colors. And when they all compete against each other at the same pageant, I consider them all my daughters. I don't choose this one over the other. You know, whoever wins, we all win. We're all winners. I mean, that's the way how I perceive things. Like at Miss Universe this year, I consider all of these girls as my children, as my daughters. I really don't care who wins, as long as the winner will do a good job and that everybody else will be happy about her win. You know, that's all I care about. Yeah, but a lot of people do not see that because they put themselves in this nationalistic box. You know, if our girl Miss Philippines doesn't win, boo, bye Miss Universe. We're not going to support you anymore because our girl lost, etc. You know, that's a bit of attitude. It's part of the toxic culture as well, which I really despise, which I really hate. So yeah, so that's good. Okay, so we've seen that our perception of beauty has evolved through time across the globe, and I hope it continues to evolve. And I don't know, what do you think? I mean, earlier before we started the show, Vagisha wasn't here yet, but we wanted to know who our current favorite is for the crown. So who do you think is going to win? Who is your current favorite right now to win?
It's very hard to pick one or two favorite this time because the contestants are so good, so strong. And every day I keep on changing my favorites. But to mention few of them, I think Mexico is great. Brazil is great. Other than her, India is also catching up. And Jamaica, yes. I think she is a stunner. She's a dark horse. And there are few sashes which are not very well known at the pageant, like Miss Universe, like Chile, Romania. They have not performed very well in terms of their placements in previous editions. But I think this time, all the small sashes like Cambodia, and then we have Chile or Romania, they are absolutely stunning. And other than them, I think Great Britain is also somebody whom I she's so stunning. She speaks so well. She talks so well. And she has that spark in her. So I'm completely and thoroughly enjoying this Miss Universe edition. And I want somebody who is an unexceptional winner, you know, and somebody who's very different, somebody who we cannot predict, but still does the job very well. So in that sense, the one who owns that night and the prelims and the coming days, which are ahead of us, I think she should win.
Right. Good one. Now, okay, we've seen all 74 girls so far. Have you been disappointed by any of them since they arrived? I mean, have any of these girls gone down your list or disappeared from your list? I mean, I have a few. You know, Peter, let's start with you. Disappointments.
Oh gosh.
No, I'm not going to say so, Rafa. I'm not going to say it.
I
will say that there's a few that were a favorite of mine that I'm still hoping are going to go up there at the 11th hour and just show us what they've got. There have been a few that have kind of diminished. Their lights have diminished a little. Maybe it's just early days, but I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to name it. Not today.
Yes.
Okay, whatever. All right. Antonio.
Everybody, most of the fans was upset because Miss USA arrived like, you know, very casual, like she go to H&M, take an outfit and go, and that's okay because she lives in the United States, you know, that's okay. Don't worry about that, you know.
Antonio.
I have two girls, but let's not say like has been disappointed. Let's call it like they need to show more. Let's see that they haven't hide it. You know, like let's change that. In my opinion, there's two girls. The first one is Great Britain. I loved Great Britain. You know, with the video, like she has she's a very well spoken, but she hasn't show off so much. You know, the first 3 days. And the second, as Hector says, is Miss USA. She was a very heavy favorite for me, and I feel like she doesn't want to win. I mean, I feel that she's very happy to be only Miss USA, you know, and she's like, you know, she's playing safe. It's my two girls.
I totally agree with you. I don't think Miss USA wants to become Miss Universe, and I think she's very happy with Miss USA, and I think she expects USA not to win anyway this year. You know, I mean, she receives the same salary as Miss Universe, so she's also
right.
You know.
Yeah, I have a question. Which contestants reminds you and another contestant for another years? I have one. Bianca Terzi, Miss Romania, reminds me a little bit about Rima Faki.
Really?
What?
Yeah. Are you blind?
Put the photos. No, not maybe in the beauty, but maybe in the personality, you know, in the way she is.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
wow.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, me too. Okay, now I've seen. Okay, I think Romania. I like Romania. She's on my original list, and she still is on my list. She's been very consistent. Another girl that's been very consistent lately is South Africa. Have you seen her Fadil shots?
Yes, beautiful.
Oh, those eyes are just mesmerizing. I mean, she's just stunning. She's just very, very beautiful. Who actually one girl dropped on my list.
Which one?
I think it's Peru. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. For some reason she doesn't look as energetic as before. And I think maybe because she's too tired because she just arrived, I don't know, or jet lag, maybe, who knows. But I'm sure she will surprise me come preliminaries.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't like Chile before, and I still don't like her today. I know she's an actress, but she seems fake to me. I mean, she doesn't strike me as a very relatable person. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, it's not even the fact that she's short. She's one of the shortest, like Miss Australia. But at least Australia has personality. She's genuine.
Yes.
And Australia just made my list. So yeah. Hi, Maria, if you're watching.
Maria, we love you, Maria. Maria.
We all like Maria now. We all love Maria. Yeah. And of course, Miss Cameroon. Nobody, cannot ignore Miss Cameroon. She's going on very strong. Yeah. I'm so happy because she and Miss France are roommates, so they both speak French. What do you think of Haiti? I have like mixed opinions about Miss.
No.
I think that here is beautiful girl, and she has a nice story, but I think that she's trying to sell that story too much. I don't know. I feel like he wants to victimize her. You know, like that's the only thing I feel it. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I feel it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about Paraguay?
No. Oh, come on.
Who shouldn't be competing to begin with?
Oh my God.
But she made it anyway, right? Who knows? Maybe they'll give her the Congeniality Award or something.
She made for nothing.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's going to be very interesting. I mean, it's going to be very different for me when I see them actually in person. So I can't wait to go to Florida. So that'll be very interesting. Yeah, I can't wait. So listen, do you have other issues or questions that you want to raise regarding the topic of racism in pageantry, or are we all set?
Oh, look, we can be here all day talking about this. I mean, at the end of the day, everything that's going on over there, especially those comments, is just bullshit. You know, we need to call out the bullshit. That's all I'm saying. You know, as soon as you see something, it's like, oh, bullshit.
I just want to say something, you know, to all those toxic fans, you know, like, guys, I think that maybe what you're doing, it will be destroying the beauty pageants in the future, because if young girls will see, you know, in the internet that they will face all this criticizing, they will not like to even compete in the national pageants. And, you know, without national pageants, we don't have international pageants. So I think that, you know, people, as Hector says, before you make a comment, just think about it. Like, is this comment, what is going to happen if I comment this? You know, if I make this comment, is it going to be something good or something bad? And if it's something bad, just keep it for yourself. Please don't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Antonio, you know what? I wish we could do that. Pia Wurtzbach actually addressed that a few years ago when she was Miss, you know, she competed for Miss Universe, the whole think before you click comments. And, you know, so many Filipinos and so many of her fans were actually repeating that tagline, think before you click. And exactly how many of them actually think before they click? They don't.
Well,
they don't. They choose to be idiots.
Right. Well, Miss Universe Philippines, Rabia Mateo reportedly sent an email to both Nova Stevens, Miss Canada, and also Miss Thailand, Amanda Obdam, apologizing, you know, on behalf of the toxic Filipino fans who have been bashing those two women lately. So, which I think.
Can we talk about this one, Rafa?
Which I think is a nice gesture, but was it really necessary though?
That's why. Yeah. Can we talk about this one? Sure. Because people like yourself, people like other people say that maybe Rabia shouldn't have apologized. Some Filipinos are saying, well, it's just kind of put the Filipinos in the spotlight as, the main perpetrators of the insult. So I kind of wanted to hear everybody's thoughts on the issue. Should Rabia have apologized to Nova and to Amanda? I actually think that what Rabia did was very noble. I don't think it would have changed anything, but yeah, I would love to hear what others think about that.
Mm-hmm. Hector, what do you think? Should Rabia have apologized to Nova?
Yes, I think she do in a good way. You know, if I was Rabia, I do the same, because you know this thing from Rabia looks like classy, you know, very well educated, and it's something that maybe stop the comment or maybe stop the hate from this kind of fans that they don't have nothing to do with their life, you know.
Mm-hmm. Vagisha, what do you think? Should she have apologized?
I think that I feel that highlighting all the Tagalog comments in the post and not mentioning about the other comments is also very strange for me, because I'm very sure that Nova must have received hate from other countries as well. And you cannot just target one country in the post to say that this particular country is bullying me. So Rabia is definitely a representative of Philippines, but again, you cannot completely, you know, own the responsibility of whosoever is going and bullying somebody. And I'm very sure that only Filipinos would not have abused or bullied Nova Stevens. So definitely her gesture is very kind and noble. I'm not questioning that. But again, then why only certain part of the comments are highlighted? Why not all the comments from different countries?
Right.
That was the first thing to strike my mind.
That's a good point. Antonio, what do you think? Should she have apologized?
Actually, yeah, I mean, not for her, but as Vagisha said, that like the comments were highlights in Tagalog, so it was obviously, you know, like they were trying to say that, hey, this is the fans for the Philippines who are doing that to me. So she apologized, like, I think that what she did was great, but she was like, I'm sorry for my fans, so, you know, that makes you feel in that way. So that's perfect. Yep. So also I have to comment that I agree with Vagisha, like, I don't know why she only highlight those specific comments in Tagalog, you know, like that's because that actually gives fuel to other fans, you know, maybe from Latin America, Indonesia, to attack the Filipinos. So no, that's why I don't like it either, because I was like, oh, you know, like you're giving more fuel to other fans to attack the Philippines and to continue, you know, with that work.
Well, actually, she did not create that meme, by the way. It was sent to her. Mm-hmm. Somebody else, I think another Filipino fan who loves Nova, created that meme and put the collage of all those different texts, and he sent this meme to her, so that's why she posted it. So people assume that she made that meme, but it's not true at all. But you know what? Okay. I think Rabia comes from a good heart when she did that, when she apologized, and I think she's doing it as an educator because she wants to educate the ignorant rather than talk to fans that racism is horrible and evil. And in a way, she's sort of like, you know, enhancing Nova's advocacy of fighting racism and discrimination. Right, Peter?
Good.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't think Rabia is alone. You know, I'm sure Catriona has touched on it. Pia has definitely touched on it as well. Again, do I have very little faith in the fact that it's going to change or actually control the rabidity, if there's such a word, of the fans? Probably not. Maybe for about 5 minutes, it'll probably shut them up, and then it'll come back again. So, you know, what's the solution? Maybe take away the internet from them. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I totally agree. Totally agree. Well, my dear, lovely critical beauties, thank you again for engaging in this wonderful discussion. I learned something new every time we, you know, have these little chats. I learned something new, and I feel we're so much like closer with each other. We've bonded, at least from an emotional and intellectual perspective. And I really don't know what to expect when I go to Miss Universe in Florida next week. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of surprises. All my favorites on the list may or may not end up being in the top 21. Who knows?
Right.
You know, there's going to be a lot of surprises, I bet.
Yep.
I bet, you know, as it happens every year and whatnot. So to all the Critical Beauty Salon viewers, thank you for joining our group tonight. We wish you a wonderful week ahead. And don't forget the Miss Universe National Costumes Show on May 13th, I believe. And then May 14th will be the preliminaries. And I believe they will be both live streamed, I think, right?
Yes,
Either from YouTube or from the Miss Universe organization website, I believe. I'm not sure.
Cool.
But definitely from YouTube.
Yes.
And hopefully it's free. So.
No, it's free. It's free.
Did you see the little care package that they received?
Yeah, love it.
With the name of the countries and stuff and everything. I thought it was really nice. And hand sanitizers and whatnot.
Yeah.
Cool. I want one of those.
Before we go, I have to say that Miami has been a wonderful host, and every time they don't get a country as a host, they should always do the pageant in Miami. It's like the girls are enjoying, the fans are amazing, so Miami has to be the host. So every time.
Well, yeah, for a long time. Miss Universe was held in Miami for like almost 20 years. Yeah, in the early days. Yeah, Long Beach, etc.
And please, all the fans and everybody send a lot of love to Miss Ukraine.
Oh yes, I was gonna mention that.
Please.
Yeah.
To all the contestants, but please, Miss Ukraine, she's alone in Miami. Yeah. And
Yeah, I read her story.
You know what happened,
Yeah, I read a story. She and Miss Colombia arrived together, and a throng of fans, came to Miss Colombia and basically loved her. Whereas Miss Ukraine was left to herself, and she was forced to sign her photo, the program book, all by herself. And then she commented about that. She felt very lonely and sad because beauty pageants are not very big in the Ukraine. That's why she doesn't get a lot of support. But when she woke up this morning, she checked her email, and lo and behold, there were gazillion comments, positive messages from people from all over the world, which is great.
Yes.
Great. And that's what pageants are all about.
Yes.
That's exactly what Miss Universe Canada, Nova Stevens is talking about. Pageants, which is to be good fun, good memories, and building friendships that will last.
And all those people, that are covering the pageant right now in the hotel, please be nice to the contestants. Please be gentle to the contestant, okay? Don't scream like a crazy people to the contestant, because they start screaming like Chile, and maybe Ukraine is in the back, or maybe Nicaragua is in the back, and they're going to feel bad. If you are there, please share everybody, because this is the most important beauty pageant, not in the universe, in the galaxy, in the planet, in everywhere.
Right, exactly. Well, I can't wait to attend and just shout in the live audience, Cameroon!
Take applause to Rafa.
Listen, guys, Vagisha, thank you so much for participation. I appreciate it. I know you had to get up early in the morning, and I hope you have your breakfast already.
Yes.
And then Hector, mi amor, espero que todo te vaya bien. Antonio, again, thank you. Muchísimas gracias, mi amor. And Peter, my dear Peter, I can't live without you. You know that.
Oh, look, I just wanted to wish all of the mothers here in Australia a happy Mother's Day as well.
Oh, yes.
It's Mother's Day today.
Happy Mother's Day to everybody.
Yes.
Happy Mother's Day to my mom in heaven. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if my mom's watching, but happy Mother's Day. I love you. And to all of my other mothers out there, a very happy Mother's Day.
Is any mom of the Miss Universe contestants? No, yes? No,
but they're chaperones. They're all mothers.
Chaperones. Oh, no, I was confused. I was okay.
Yeah, Actually, I saw a video of Miss Cameroon introducing her chaperone and calling her mom. Oh, meet my mom, and her name is Connie, I believe. Connie, yeah. So that's good. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I really like that Cameroon is with Miss France.
I know.
Of course, they speak French, but I really like the contrast.
The connection. Yeah, I'm glad. Who is Miss India's roommate? Do you know, Vagisha?
She's Indonesia. Ayu Maulida.
Oh, why Indonesia?
Yes.
Yes, Indonesia.
Oh, okay, all right, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I know Thailand and Singapore are roommates, I believe. And oh, I think who else?
Puerto Rico and South Africa, they're roommates.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Yes,
kidding me?
yes.
2019 first runner-up was Puerto Rico and South Africa won. Could there
Yes,
be a repeat this year?
And when Estefania entered to the room, Natasha was waiting for her, and then Natasha told to Estefania, please just sit on your bed because I have something for you. It was a gift. It was a beautiful, beautiful gift. And when Estefania opened the box, it was a pajama. And then in the back, it was the best roomie ever.
Oh, man.
It was something that all the Puerto Rican fans loved. And Estefania was like, oh my God. Yeah. But in this topic of the roommates, if you see the list again, I don't know, but most of the girls, they look like each other.
You think? Well, it's the same makeup.
Well, but it's a good makeup. If it's a good makeup from Muva, all the Latinas makeup artists and her stylists, you know. But yeah,
right. That's good. Well, I'm sure they're having a good time because it's only like it's only 8 days left, really. You know.
Yes.
And time flies when you're having fun, especially. So that's good. Yeah. And I'm glad that the Miss Universe organization is paying attention very well to the safety guidelines. So the girls feel very safe and stuff. So, which is good. Yeah. All right. Thank you. And have a wonderful week.
I'm hungry. I'm hungry.
Virtual kisses to everyone. Namaste. Muchísimas gracias. Mabuhay. Bonjour. Salut. I'll see you guys.
Ciao.
And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, do it now. Bye, people. Thank you.